Making $100,000 used to mean you were set. Not rich, but secure. You could pay your bills, save a little, and take a vacation without stressing over every dollar. Today, more and more people earning six figures feel stretched, anxious, and stuck. They're not irresponsible. They're not bad with money. So why does $100,000 still feel broke? Let's slow this down and look at the real numbers. One of the biggest mistakes people make is assuming money keeps the same value over time. It doesn't. $100,000 today does not buy what it bought 10 or 20 years ago. Back then, housing was cheaper relative to income. Healthcare cost less. Education cost less. Daily expenses took up a smaller share of your paycheck. The number stayed the same. The costs didn't. This isn't nostalgia. It's inflation and rising costs, and the middle class feels it first. Let's get something clear right away. If your salary is $100,000, that is not what hits your bank account. Before you touch a single dollar, money is taken out for federal taxes, state taxes, Social Security, and Medicare. For most people, that leaves somewhere between $65,000 and $72,000 in take-home pay. So before rent, before groceries, before gas, the six-figure number has already shrunk. That's not a mistake. That's the starting line. Now let's talk about the biggest reason $100,000 feels tight. Housing. Rent that used to be $1,200 is now $2,000 or more. Mortgage payments have doubled because of interest rates. For many households, 40 to 50% of take-home pay goes straight to housing. People aren't upgrading for luxury, they're upgrading for safety, space, or proximity to work. When housing takes that much, everything else becomes fragile. You're not living large, you're anchored. After housing, the rest piles on quietly. Groceries cost more, not because you're buying luxury food, but because basics are expensive now. Insurance premiums rise, car payments stretch longer, utilities climb, subscriptions sneak in. Individually, none of these seem extreme. Together, they erase breathing room. This is how people making good money still feel like they can't get ahead. Not because of one big mistake, but because of constant pressure. Now let's talk about something uncomfortable, but real. When income rises, lifestyle usually follows. Not because people are reckless, but because they're looking for relief. They want less stress, less risk, less inconvenience. So they move to a safer neighborhood. They replace the unreliable car. They stop counting every dollar. The problem isn't upgrading. The problem is upgrading everything at once. That's how six figures still feels tight. Fast. This is the middle class squeeze. You make too much to qualify for help, but not enough to absorb emergencies. One medical bill, one car repair, one layoff, and months of progress disappear. You're doing fine until suddenly you're not. And that constant pressure wears people down. Social media makes this feel even worse. Everyone looks like they're winning. Vacations, upgrades, comfort. What you don't see is the debt, the stress, the lack of savings. Comparison turns financial pressure into shame, and shame keeps people silent. $100,000 isn't failure, but it's no longer freedom by default. The system changed. The costs changed. The rules changed. Understanding that is the first step toward real stability.